Yeah, it taught a bunch of mouth breathers the quadratic equation. Hello friends, welcome back to RedX Trace Amounts of Science. Today, we're getting into some more r/slash Neckbeard stories. Are you surprised? I've really been digging back through the archives. I found Classbeard, which I haven't read before, and I don't know how it goes, or if the story has a proper ending, but there's like 4 parts, so I figure why not? Why not run through it, cram them into a video? Feels good. Back in the saddle. Thanks so much for being here, and let's get on into this thing. Classbeard Special Needs Edition, Part 1. I'm sort of concerned about the special needs part, you know? It's just like, Lenny from Mice and Men, and he chokes some girl or something. But it's basically every story that we've ever read on the channel, I guess, in some part. You know, part and parcel of Neckbeard stories. Anyway, before I tell the tale of Classbeard, I want to get something out of the way. This is coming from a former special needs student, high-functioning autism spectrum for the curious, stuck in a special needs class filled to teeming with all sorts of shenanigans. And because this took place in middle and high school, I'll only focus on the high school bits, as those turned out more interesting, shall we say, as the years progressed. Middle school interaction between me and the beard of this post were minimal, due to only sharing one class from 7th to 8th grades, and we were more focused on schoolwork than each other during that time. We also had more classes in dinky trailers outside the school proper. I'm not making this up, but changed trailers between 10th and 11th grades, hence the title. Now, with all that out of the way, well, can I just pause and say, like, that's a lot of shit to get out of the way. I appreciate the preamble and whatnot, but also, just throw me into the story. You know how a good book opens up, like, in the middle of the action, and you're like, holy shit, how'd we get there? Like, that's what I would like to see more of in Reddit posts. If I may ask, you know, it's sort of presumptuous of me to tell you how to do the thing, especially a decade after the fact, but whatever. That's what I want to see. That's what would really hook me in. Just please, if anybody's gonna write a story, try that. Just try it. Just try it for me. Anyway, so yeah, let's delve into the nitty gritty, which just means a cast list. Again, please, just dive into the please. Okay, I beg you. We've got OP, Flora, then 16 to 19, 5-foot midget with a slight chunky 140 IB. Oh, pounds? Yeah, it's supposed to be LB, isn't it? It's fine. 140-pound build. Somewhat attractive, but nothing to write home about. Brown hair that would turn red in bright sunlight, gray-blue eyes, D cups that filled me with shame, was mostly wearing dark clothes, autistic, highly empathetic, changing moods to fit the atmosphere. Note! I was a fledgling legbeard before I grew out of the mentality, which took a bit outside jostling for all that to happen. Yeah, I'm a big fan of jostling. I think everybody should be just Janice Jocelyn at the school, you know? Like, you bully people and then they turn into better people. You know, you gotta burn away all the rubbish. The only way to do that is with flames. Something a little bit spicy. OP does seem to sort of want to talk about herself a lot, but whatever. I guess as long as it doesn't carry over into the actual story, then we just might survive. There's also Classbeard, 5'3", at least 150 pounds. IBS, what does that stand for?
Irritable Brony Syndrome, involuntary beef storage. Oh wait, I know. It's definitely Interdimensional Burger Summit.
We cannot negotiate with the vegans.
He had a neckbeard so thick that it would grow back 3 days after shaving. Not exaggerating. I mean, that's impressive at 16, I'll tell you. Nerd, gamer, greasy black hair, and sunglasses indoors. He claimed to have issues with halogen lights, and the things were prescription, but so flat of a voice and expression it almost seemed like he didn't have emotions. Claimed to be autistic himself, but doubtful. Why will become apparent later. Well, you've just handed me a piece of information. He doesn't have any emotions? Isn't that like an autistic thing? And then immediately you turn around and you're like, no. But he doesn't. Don't, just because he's in this class doesn't mean anything. You can trust me over the school psychiatrist. Why? What reason have you given me to fucking trust you? Fellow autistic person. Great. Super, yeah. So he was roughly my age when things took a turn for the interesting. Note, deliberately changed his name for the sake of sparing him the embarrassment. Even I can't bring down something like that on someone like he, partly due to empathy and partly because he kept bringing it on himself. More on that later. Yeah, we got a whole lot of more on that later. Are you hooked in yet, ladies and gentlemen? I promise the story's gonna start soon. Why are you doing this to me? Why do you have to do this to me? This is fucking killing retention in the video and everything. I'm probably not helping by complaining about it endlessly, but it's fun to complain sometimes. I also like how she slips in like, oh, yeah, I'm totally empathetic toward this guy. He's a fake autistic dude. I don't think he should be in this class, but I'm empathetic. Okay, sure. So what the fuck? Yeah, story soon, but first, Mr. Sparks. We gotta meet him. He's the main teacher. Brown hair with beard, glasses, middle-aged man. Note, taught more advanced things like the quadratic formula and Othello. Some things most other special needs teachers wouldn't dare touch, which I find understandable. What the hell does that have to do with anything, can I ask? Yeah, taught a bunch of mouth breathers, the quadratic equation. Okay, cool. You think they're ever going to have a chance to use it? Maybe Othello. There's some good things in literature, but quadratic formula, it might not be so applicable. Anyway, lastly, there's a few other minor classmates who didn't get themselves terribly involved in this mess until later. Oh, good. Look forward to more cast lists in the future. So here's the story, everybody. Fucking 10 minutes in. I appreciate it. I'm just so grumpy. People like Redex, you could just skip past all that part if you really wanted to. No, it's part of the performance, alright? I gotta get good and upset before the story starts. Before anything happens, I'm already mad! So yeah, things went to a rocky start during my sophomore year. Classbeard wasn't present in class during my freshman year, but transferred the year after. Believe it or not, even though I was under the delusion of dating him, Reed sitting next to him and sharing chips and holding hands, that was really the extent to which we shared physical contact. Oh, already. I find you didn't mention ex-boyfriend in the cast list. You dated him. That changes, like, a whole lot of the fucking context here. This is really OP coming in being like, I regret dating him, so here's some weird shit that he did. Well, you probably did some weird shit too, didn't you? He's not sitting around to write a story about it, though, because, yeah, Classbeard don't give a fuck. He's like, on to the next. What do you want from me? I respect that type of energy, Classbeard. OP, you gotta do better. You gotta do better than what the fuck this is. Like, we're off to a rough start, you know? I'm willing to turn back the clock and start again if you really want to, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough to forget all of what I've experienced so far, which is basically nothing. And do you know how that feels? To sit in fucking purgatory? When's it gonna end? Never. That's the point of purgatory. Anyway, what did I talk about? I didn't exactly feel comfortable with him, despite dating him. Something about him was off-putting, even though I dated him. And my inner autist was screaming to get away from him each time we talked. Yeah, presumably about dating each other. Hey, do you want to date me? No, don't do it, he's crazy! Yeah, I do. Sounds good.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
There was all that, and we also had very little in common. I could say that I was a hardcore gamer. Cringe. Not into cheerleading or dresses, for the most part. And he and I were both introverts. You know, the whole caveat of the fledgling Neckbeard gig. Just not as disgusting. I was careful about that, since school and all. Yeah, but do you have a period-stained mattress in your bedroom? That's what the laziest Neckbeard we've ever seen did. Check out that laziest Neckbeard compilation saga, you know? I forget often to suggest sagas and things, but there is that. As far as, yeah, hardcore gamer, please don't say that. Like, I play a lot of video games, a lot, but I would never call myself a fucking gamer. That's, I'm much more than that, thank you. I don't fit into your little box. Oh, you're a YouTuber? No, I don't fit into that box either. I'm many things. Husband and father, first and foremost. With all that said, though, I noticed several incidents with him. Mostly where he'd shout at people and be made to eat with the teachers during lunch. Odd, given he knew what he was doing, but I dismissed those as minor since they were infrequent during my sophomore year. Wow, that's about the most uninteresting thing in the story so far, and the stories contain basically nothing so far, so yeah, very uninteresting indeed. He shouts at people? Oh no! You better lock that kid up. Why does it even bear mentioning? And who are you to say that he knows what he's doing? The Mrs. fucking psychiatrist over here? She's like, yeah, that guy, he's faking it. He's fake. I'm the only one that's not faking it, you guys. Well, fuck you very much. So at one point during lunch, he and I were at a booth eating our meals and chatting about anime. Oh, anime, a thing that you connect on when you said that you didn't connect on anything like earlier in the story. That is interesting. Well, what an interesting thing to mention. Was it just a booth or was it your guys' special booth? Where you have a milkshake waiting for you with 2 straws poking out of it. You guys always fight over the cherry and shove each other back and forth. Bunch of shoving buddies, huh?
Oh, look, there we go. Oh, look at them jostling each other around. Oh, they give each other a hard time, but they're friends.
Is that a real show?
No, it's somebody's making a joke. Forget it.
That's great. I really like that for you. This story's awful. I'm 2 paragraphs and I can tell you right now, this story's fucking terrible. OP does want to say anime is one of the few things that they had in common. But trust me, they were few. So few that we had to date. Out of the blue, however, he changed topics and told me he wanted me to come to his place for his birthday. Blindsided, I blinked and tilted my head and asked what he had in mind. I didn't know where he lived at the time, so I also had to ask for directions. And he told me bluntly that he wanted it to be a bit special. I want you to dress up in a diaper and a onesie and do things to me, he said. Yeah, I'm not interested. What the fuck? No.
Disgusting!
That's me paraphrasing, but yeah, that was his request in a nutshell. And that raised red flags in my head, and I almost choked on my chalky milk when I heard this. Yeah, raising red flag, that's all it did. I wasn't like hitting the panic button, fucking ejector seat, ejectocito boing. No, we just have to be like, hey everybody, red flag. Okay, he likes diaper stuff. For me, that's a non-starter. All right, I'm not gonna be involved with any of that shit. Why would you? Unless you like the other person that much, which clearly OP doesn't. She's just sort of dating him to date him. Why not? You were here. I'd date a chick or two like that. It's just convenient. What do you want? It's not supposed to be like a horrible thing. It's just a choice that I made because I needed somebody in the moment, okay? You were that person for a little while, but I knew from the very start that you weren't going to be the one. That's fine. I understand that. But yeah, to write a Reddit post about is the weird part to me, I guess. But then I wouldn't have any content. So good. Keep going, I guess. Fuck it. Bug-eyed, I asked him, why? And he said, because it would be hot. No.
Disgusting!
This feels familiar. Did we read something like this? I can't tell anymore. But I know my approach is much different than it would have been like 5 years ago. So fuck it. We'll take the ride again, you know? I lied. I have read this before. It's somewhere deep in my fucking subconscious, and I wish I could scrape it out of there, but I don't know how it works.
A twist in the fabric of space where time becomes a loop. Where time becomes a loop. Where time becomes a loop. Where time becomes a loop.
So before I could choke down my chocolate milk and befuddlement, he added, and if we had a daughter, Flora, I'd wait until she was 18 before doing it to her. What, the diaper onesie thing? That's... What the fuck are you talking about right now? I'm pretty sure what you're talking about is not okay at all. I don't like it. I'm very close to choking you out or throttling you in some way.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
Like, what? This daughter that doesn't exist, but I'm gonna wait till she's legal before I do weird diaper stuff with her. Why would she be... Why would you even... Oh my god. Okay. The story's finally kicking up to some cringe now. Maybe I'm sorry about all of this shitty stuff I said about you, OP. But maybe I'm not either. We'll have to see. So mind you, he said all this in a low enough voice that only I could hear it. What with it being a crowded lunchroom and all, but I swear, after he said those things, time froze for a few seconds. I just stared at Classbeard with what could only be called a disgusted look. It's not the strongest adjective we could have used, is it?
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
He, however, did not register my look and kept yakking on and on about his proclivities. I tuned out what he'd said after that, as the first few bits were still lingering in my head. No subtlety, no grace. It's like dropping a fucking bombshell. Truly, I don't know why you would choose to do this. I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to open up with me. Really, I am. But trust me, I'm only gonna use this as a knife to stick in you later. So don't do it, you know? Maybe it's better if we don't. My stomach turned as he kept harping on until the lunch bell rang and we had to go back to class. I wanted to puke real bad, but I managed to hold my stomach. I've seen weirder, darker shit in my dreams, what with my being a connoisseur of the nightmarish. Oh yeah, she likes fucking Nightmare Before Christmas, everybody. She's not like other girls, let me tell you. She got a Jack Skellington shirt, she's so different. Yes, I am that same damn chick who dreamed about muscular demons and stitched up corpses. Yeah, weird fucking flex, but okay, I guess. Like, yeah, the vibe that I get somebody off the first paragraph or two of their story is intense. Like, sure, we got the beard, and he's pretty disgusting too, but OP, what the fuck? I guess she's open about her leg beardness, but, yeah, definitely still in recovery. I don't know if we've even started recovery at this point. What the fuck is happening? So, for the next few days after, I avoided him deliberately. When he confronted me at lunch during that time, I told him I wasn't feeling well and wanted to be alone. He bought the excuse and left me alone, surprisingly enough. Yeah, almost like he's a decent human being that just likes diaper things. Which totally can happen, okay? I go hard on the diaper folk, but that's because it's disgusting to me. But some people might be into it. Like I said, if you love somebody enough, you might discover some things about yourself. But that ain't for me, though. I want to be very clear. I find that super fucking foul. I don't want to play with your poop soup. Your phallus soup. Nasty. And then to, like, quote unquote discover that about yourself at like age 16. How porn sick are you? Can I ask that? This is just that's something that people didn't discover until like their 30s or 40s back in the 60s and 70s, you know? I don't actually know. I'm making things up, as I always do. Who cares? So yeah, at this point OP begins weighing options, shuddering at the whole incest spiel. Wait, was that what it was about? I thought it was just a diaper thing. I don't know what's going on anymore. You've left out some critical components of the story, and I don't trust you as a narrator any longer. Like, we've come this far, so I guess we'll continue along, but if it comes out, like you said, he finger blasts a manatee or something like that, I'm immediately not going to believe it.
Your Highness, I beg you, please do not finger bang that manatee.
Silence! The king needs privacy!
OP says, if anyone asks, I'm unfortunately a child of 2 first cousins, and I found that shit really weird, and that in itself is saying something. Oh, it explains some things, you're right. And the red flags I got initially only intensified. Yeah, imagine that. Almost like you should have fucking left the situation as soon as you clocked it. You're like, yeah, that's weird, I'm not into it, bye. And then that's it. You go to the same school, but you have one hard conversation, you don't have to deal with each other anymore. After quietly eating my lunch and turning it about in my head for that few days, I realized how unkempt he looked. Somehow I ignored it until then, but he was always greasy looking. I mean, yeah, as neckbeards are wont to be, I suppose. How do you not notice some shit like that? It's like your entire perception of this guy changed overnight after he told you all the weird sick shit that was in his head. and I can't blame you hardly at all. Because, yeah, I mean, that is a factor, isn't it? I had to crawl around, and yeah, it explains some things about you. I don't think I want to interact anymore. But OP goes on interacting for whatever reason. I guess because, yeah, scared. Women often tell me it's cause scared. And my advice is to go and find a bigger, greasier neckbeard to fight the one that's following you around. So, how would we do things had I genuinely fallen in love with him when he could easily crush me with his blob form? I mean, you get on top, never mind, it's fine, whatever. Seriously, that went through my head before I punted that thought to the mental curb where it belonged, and then turned my attention to his personality. Brash, blunt, but otherwise dead. No vigor whatsoever, it was just there. And he would theoretically provide for the household if we got together and had kids, ? I kind of went over a lot in those few days. An hour per day for lunch alone will do that to you. But I also had a lot to consider. We weren't the best match for each other, I'd come to realize. Our interests diverged beyond anime and gaming. I broadened my horizons a little and was more construction-oriented and got into My Little Pony. Good for you. It's a good choice to make. He went more destructive, as it were, but more on the destructive bit another day. Yeah, always another day with you. Always kicking that fucking can down the road. But I get it. We're constructing a story. It's fine. That and my empathy chimed in and registered the whole no sparks here issue, which my still churning gut agreed with. Damn, y'all really, sitting here fucking weighing options and stuff. You know how I react to life? I react. I'm very reactionary. I made this decision in the moment, and I'm going to stick with it. I might be sad for a day or two. Maybe I miss the presence of that person, but yeah, we'll get up and over. What the fuck? There's no use to hanging on to garbage. What are you even thinking? Are there any positives at all? That's what I want to hear about. The positives. Give me some reasons that you would stay with the cousin-loving diaper guy who's greasy and gross inside and out. You give me one reason. Just one. You can't. You can't even admit that you was just lonely and that's why you went on this whole fucking ride. I admitted it to you earlier. You can't do the same for me? No respect. No respect at all. Come the end of the school year, a few weeks later, we were in gym class, and I was playing with the other kids in a form-fitting black dress and a matching black silk vest. Is that fucking My Immortal flashbacks? Anytime somebody has to describe the shit that other people are wearing, unless it's the neckbeard. Neckbeards wear some funny things sometimes, I guess. It's part of the whole thing. But yeah, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what our narrator wears or their friends. It's My Immortal vibes. My Immortal vibes everywhere. Cool form-fitting black dress. What a neat matching silk vest that you made up in your fucking head. I don't care. Listen to me. I don't give a single shit. Alright? Carry on. Anyway, Classbeard, due to his blobbiness, sat in a side room in the back where the teachers kept the basketballs which weren't in use, as well as it had a desk and some badminton rackets, doing all the work he didn't do all that day. If memory serves, it was math assignments that he was struggling with. So, mere minutes before school was to be out for the day, I mustered the gumption to get into that room with my backpack on, looking him dead in the eyes. He looked at me and lowered his shades. God, that was one of the most vacant looks I'd ever seen. You know how some people will say autistic folks view people as objects to get what they want? Well, yeah, it was that sort of stare. Oh, but he's not autistic. He's not, right? You said that earlier, even though we've got fucking 3 pieces of evidence to the contrary of the thing that you've said, you moron, you mouth breather, you shit. Anyway, carry on, yes, please. I can't wait for the next part. I swallowed nervously and found my voice. Classbeard, it's over, I said bluntly. Yeesh, that sounded better in my head. We're not dating anymore. And he glared at me, but I didn't sense any anger from him. My empathy registered nothing, really. Yes, let me check my empathy radar. You really think you're fucking like Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy or something? You're not. You're a person who, like, sees other people's face and knows what it means. Congratulations! Wow! Amazing! What a superpower!
I sense that you're slightly confused right now.
I got the superpower. I can see through text. I can see through fucking dimensions. I've seen every iteration of who you are and who you've become, and it's all terrible. You're a miserable human being deep down. You thought Classbeard could fix it for you, but he can't. You know, it's the same mistake that every neckbeard, or legbeard, I guess in this case, makes, is that you want somebody else to fix it for you. You want to know why that is? Because you're lazy. You're lazy and haven't developed your own personality aside from, like, I like dead things. Like, wow, that's super neat. The reason you like dead things is because they're just as empty inside as you are. Isn't that the case? You haven't put in the legwork or the will, really even spent any time wondering about what it is that you actually like and want to do. Instead, you're living externally and only so you can judge other people and feel superior to them, and that's pretty fucking pathetic in my book. But yes, please tell me more, fucking mystical empath. And OP says, I knew he could overpower me if he worked out a little more and tried. Well, neither of you try. Both of you have fucking given up before you've started. Like, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it again. I also knew that I was more athletic. Yeah, quotations around athletic. More athletic. I guess it's a sliding scale, that's true.
That's a huge bitch!
Even with a heavy-set backpack I'd stuffed to the brim with books and my midget ass size, I could still get away before he'd even tried. Yeah, dump a case of basketballs onto him. You guys keep the basketballs in a case? Or do you keep them in those? Yeah, you probably keep them in the big old ball nets, you know? You just gotta throw the net on top of them and trip them up like a cartoon or some such. This is so dumb. The silence just held for a few seconds, and we just stared off. Yeah, Tumbleweed blows by. He didn't ask why, so I didn't dare speak. I guess he knew what it was that peeved me and drove me off. I turned away and walked out, hearing him yell after me, tuning out what he said, though I think it was to the effect of, "You'll regret this later." I snorted as the bell to signal the day's end rang. He seriously wouldn't muster the gumption to overtake me, at least not in a school. Ooh, that's some foreshadowing, isn't it? So fast forward a few months later, after I dumped him and advanced to my junior year, we were bitter enemies now, though I focused more on my schoolwork and drawings than him. Yeah, but I still wanted to write a Reddit post about it, you guys. Just remember how terrible he was, but I don't think about it at all. Okay, cool, neat, good to know. I thought it was just better to put it all behind me at the time. Honestly, the best approach I'd taken, though. What? That, and I found out that I was good at drawing ponies, surprisingly enough, which appealed to me because I'm a bit of a weeb for mythological beings, and unicorns were right up my alley. Oh yeah, the dead corpse unicorn girl. Hooray! Everybody gather around, clap. Did you hear? She's really good at drawing horses, you guys. And people give a fuck for reasons. I'm pretty sure. You can write that down. Now you have this knowledge and your life will be completely different from here on forward. I despise you. I want you to know deep down how much I dislike you and your entire vibe, OP. So for a few months, particularly, nothing interesting happened, except that I got to go to an art class and improved my craft under a teacher who used to teach French. Holy shit, I don't fucking care! We always get off into this. It does loop back around, I guess, somehow. No, it doesn't. She mentioned why she dressed for, like, no reason at all. I was like, oh, maybe Classbeard's gonna say something about the form-fitting dress. No, it was never mentioned again. So we're just like, yeah, also, my teacher was really smart. He taught us in French. Yeah, you don't understand French, okay? Just makes you feel like a fucking smart person. That's the only reason French people speak French. I know that already. Look at me, I'm giving a cigarette to a baby. This is all life is worth. Smoke it! Smoke it! Then came the day where Mr. Sparks, out of the blue, decides to play a game with the class. The nature of the game in question is as follows. 1. You choose a nickname for yourself, so Mr. Sparks can write it on the whiteboard. It's red. People call me Red. I like it. Whiteboard becomes scoreboard once all nicknames are decided. Students crack out pieces of paper and a question is written on the board. Each right answer earns a point and a chance to shoot a rubber ball into a waste bin for an extra point. End of the match, all or nothing. Winner gets a cream-filled chocolate dunk donut and runner-up gets a muffin. Well, I'll fucking switch you out. I'd probably like the muffin a little bit more, you know? That's presuming I win at all. But, you know, he talks about Othello. This teacher, he's super smart.
Always wicked smart.
He's the type of teacher that makes special ed kids shoot a rubber band ball into a wastebasket, so you know he's super intelligent. That's... I mean, give him something to do, I guess. The ball goes bouncing out in the street, they go and chase it. Oh, here comes a bus. It's terrible. Shouldn't joke about it. I don't remember the subject material all that well. I think it was an advanced vocabulary for science or math. Nor do I remember how many questions there were altogether. Yeah, so what the fuck is the point of this? Can you tell me? Is there a point to any of it? There's not. So at the end of it all, Classbeard and I were tied at 24 points. Oh, he's in this class. Well, you should have fucking mentioned that, maybe. With the both of us having studied extensively beforehand. The rivalry was fierce. He wanted the snack straight away, and I was overtaken by lady hormones.
That's a huge bitch.
Classbeard got to shoot the basket first and missed. Shot went wide, hit the door, rolled to the back of the room. He stormed to his desk in a huff. So, my little midget self makes it to shoot once the ball's retrieved, and everyone's looking at me because at that point, a waiting queue for the donut had formed and mouths were salivating. So, does everybody get a donut, or everybody's just looking at your donut? Yeah, I made the basket, you guys. I got the donut that everybody else wanted. It was cream-filled and delicious. I couldn't give a less of a shit about this, if I'm honest. Ha ha, Classbeard wasn't able to shoot a basket. Ha ha, I broke up with him. Like, he literally hasn't done anything except be like, hey, I'm into diapers and shit. Which, again, non-starter for me, but I don't think it's worth writing a Reddit post about. I dated a weird guy that liked poop. I guess we have had posts like that before. Usually people shocked and terrified, which is the correct response for the record. But I don't know. I find OP just way more distasteful. And that's saying something, because the other guy likes poop. Anyway, whatever. I took a breath and made the shot. The ball jumped out of the basket and rolled on the rim before landing gracefully within. Oh! I was on the fucking edge of my seat over who would get that donut. I seriously care, for real. I did not cheer, however. I was shooting terribly throughout the game because I had to learn to throw my arm upwards instead of down. So I trudged back to my seat, happy that I'd won, but my empathy picked up on something off-putting. Yes, my empathy meter's off the charts. Everybody else seems to want that donut. My God. I don't think we've read this before, come to think of it. Like, there was a part briefly where I'm like, maybe we did, but I really don't think that we did. It's so forgettable. It's fucking stupid as shit. I probably would remember the donut thing, though. Maybe. Your head's a fucking jelly donut. Can I tell you that? I watched the rest of my classmates launch the ball into the bin with varying degrees of success. It was only as I heard the sound of ripping paper as Mr. Sparks handed me the donut on a paper plate that I'd realized that I was up and turned to Classbeard, who had ripped his answer sheet into quarters. I should have won! I should have won! His body language screamed. Yes, I picked that up because of my empathy. Then he pounded his fists on the desk, which barely shuddered. odd, given his hammy fists. Mr. Sparks went over to him and asked, "What was up?" And Classbeard just stood up and marched out of the trailer to scream. About what? I again tuned out. I know tuning out sounds like a dick move, but if I hadn't, my empathy would have gone into overdrive and I would have been overwhelmed. I'm so empathetic that I have to tune this individual out. I don't see him as a person anymore because I'm so empathetic. Oh my god. I ate the donuts in silence that day. Oh, the saddest donut we've ever seen. But I only bragged to my parents about it. Yeah, of course you did. Mommy, they gave me a donut. Great. Another fucking 10 pounds down the road, huh? Whew. The rest of that school day was uninteresting. Yeah, much like your story. Just spent the time getting assignments done and doodling in my sketchbook in between for my art class, mind you. Oh, yeah, you don't slack off. I'll tell you that. All those Jack Skellington head drawings with the stitched up corpses next to the unicorn, that's OP's whole vibe. You know, art class made them do this because they're so good at it. The art teacher spoke in French, but I understand French sometimes, and she said it's the best thing she's ever seen. My God, it's better than frog legs and garlic and butter, which, as you know, French people, they go nuts for that shit. And cigarettes. After all that, though, things between Classbeard and Mr. Sparks would continue to escalate. But that's a tale for another day. Oh yeah, it's fucking fascinating. What a fascinating tale through and through. I can't wait to get to the next part and hear about some more inane bullshit. Nobody fucking did anything in the story, okay? Nothing happened, essentially. A bunch of people talking about stuff, some people acting out of line briefly. Like, this is not the Neckbeards that I like to watch, okay? Is he dysfunctional? Sure, but like, it's a special ed class. I sort of expected that much going in. I definitely tempered a lot of my comments and things. Because, yeah, OP definitely deserved the brunt of the hate for this story. At least the way I see it. The Gubbinses might disagree, the audience might disagree, but I think I'm on point. I was gonna say as usual, but that's not true. Sometimes I light myself on fire just to feel something again. Anyway, what do you think, Gubbinses? Do you agree or disagree with my assessment,
News flash. Drawing ponies and watching nightmares on repeat doesn't make you interesting. It makes you one terminal Tumblr post away from a full-on meltdown, because your deviant art isn't getting the attention you deserve. You aren't entitled to attention. You are a nothing, and you will remain so. Dark Gubbins.
You are a nothing. Wow. How'd you feel, Gubbins?
I've seen more compelling character arcs from a damp sock left under the bed. Your story's so bland, I need a palate cleanser after every paragraph. Oh no, Classbeard was gross and you liked ponies. Riveting stuff. Can't wait for the Lifetime adaptation. You failed to even fake being interesting. Take a break and think about your failed existence. Gubbins.
I mean, at least Gubbins presumes you have an existence at all. Dark Gubbins said you're a nothing. A nothing! I really want to get into another one. Like, sort of, my masochism's telling me that I should. So, okay, why not? I don't want this to go on for 4 episodes. We can do this one and then one more, and that'll be good. So yes, we persevere. Join me over there, won't you? Also, check us out on Spotify and iTunes, if you would. Thanks so much. The Tale of High School Classbeard, part numero uno. I guess that was part 0 that we just read. I'm confused. Before I tell the tale of High School Classbeard, I want to get something out of the way. This is coming from a former special needs student. Oh my god, is this like the whole thing again? It is. It really is. There's some addendums added. Note that I wash myself 5 to 6 times weekly now. All of the addendums are, of course, just OP talking about themselves some more. Yeah, I washed myself. I didn't know where he lived. Like, it's literally a bunch of fucking nothing. I hope that part numero dos has something for me, but that's good. You know, we're going to get into parts 2 and 3 at some point down the road. This is clearly just, a retelling. I can do it better this time, and you added like 2 fucking additions about yourself in parentheses. Very uninteresting. There's an edit at the bottom. Apparently Tim Tam Tom also read this piece of shit. I'm sure he didn't have the same reaction that I did, though. It's very hard to replicate that sort of reaction. So yeah, big cool TLDR, almost, sorta, kinda, maybe dated a Neckbeard as a fledgling Legbeard, broke it off once common sense actually declared residency, became bitter enemies with said Neckbeard, managed to win a donut with a lucky shot. Donut was delish, BTW. Cream stuff too, smiley face. I'm sure it was. Yeah, well, I think I made a joke about that earlier, but I'm not gonna make one again. It's fine. I hate everything that you wrote here, and for some reason you wrote it twice, just to really take the piss out of me. I'm gonna take this personally, you know that. I'm gonna fucking remember everything that happened here today, and I'm gonna come back with some fucking heat for you in parts number 2 and 3, but it's for another day. It's for another day. But right now, we'll head back to the lab, wrap up the episode. Sound good? So yeah, spicy episode coming for sure. Thank you Patreon patrons, YouTube members, I appreciate the hell out of y'all.
Want heat? Fine. I'll do what Flora never could and bring some actual fire to this snooze fest. Step 1. Dump a gallon of unicorn glitter solvent in the lab's fuse box. Stand back. You're about to see more sparks than her entire boring fucking Reddit post. Dark Gubbins.
Oh, brilliant plan, mate. Nothing like an electrical fire to finally make things interesting around here. Next episode, how to rebuild the lab from the ashes, or just roast a few neckbeards over the embers. Gubbins, signing off. Someone grab the fire extinguisher.
No, next episode we discuss why the fuck Gubbins is British sometimes, okay? You don't get to do the outro. I do the outro. So thank you so much, friends. I will get the fire extinguisher, but first I want to let you know that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Still talking, why are you still talking, Gubbins? Stop it.